Hey, welcome back to the channel. It is a decent enough day out. It's not really warm. It looks like about 60, but it is warm enough to at least get the kayaks out, and I'm going to do some more sanding on it. I've got some more sandpaper in, and we're just going to take mine and take it outside and start doing some sanding on it. This is not going to be exciting because it's just sanding and sanding and sanding. But one thing that I will show you is that, you know, this is what it looks like before. This is what it can look like afterwards. We're taking and doing the insides of both of these, and you can see that I also kind of worked on this a little bit. So it is coming together, but I've got my random orbital out here. I've got some 60 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to start sanding away on So I am pretty close to getting this to at least as smooth as I want to get it, but I still have some more work to do on it. I do really want to get this area decent, and then this area here, we will definitely have our hatch back here, so we want this underside to look pretty good. But we're getting close. But we'll just go ahead and just start sanding away. So I think I've got this pretty well smooth. There's some few areas that, you know, I kind of look at, and these gaps are pretty high. What it's going to have to happen is before we put on our fiberglass, I think what I'm going to end up doing is coming in here and pouring some epoxy. And we've got to put this on, and I've actually got to build this out a little bit. So I'm going to have to go buy some more Akomi to do that. And see, there's some areas in here that I can't get to, and I don't want to sand those down. So I think if we just put in a thickened fillet in there, I think we're going to be fine. I'm actually going to flip this over. There's a few areas here that I'd like to take care of, but this is on the inside. I think if I want to get in here and epoxy these, so one of the things that I may do, because, you know, some of these things you can just see all the way through, and I think what I want to do is I'll come over on this side and tape it so that it doesn't seep through, and then we'll just take and be able to pour the epoxy on the other side, let it kind of build up. It'll seal that off, and I'll actually do the same thing on this side too, because there's some areas here that just really need some work. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at this so you can see how rough this is. And I'm going to go ahead and sand this just because I want to. I'm going to change the pad. Well, actually I don't, because on the inside we use the outer, and this one here we'd actually use the inside of the pad. So I'll go ahead and do some sanding on this and we'll continue to move forward. I do want to be very careful that I'm not going too deep on this because the material will just get thinner and thinner, but I at least want to make it look a little better. I am going to go in and get a brush as well so I can brush the inside out and get some of the sawdust off. So I thought I'd take a little break and come in here. As you can kind of tell, it is really starting to come down. It's really starting to be smooth. You can see some of the areas that still need some additional sanding. This is still at 60 grit. We'll probably get all the way down to, I don't know, I'm probably going to go to 500 or 600. But there's some areas that definitely I'm going to have to figure out what to do. But I'm going to come on up here and kind of continue sanding on up here, but I'm liking the progress. This one here is just taking a whole lot longer than the other boat. I haven't started on that one, but this one here has a whole lot more flaws in it, being that this is the first one. I'll put epoxy in on all of these areas that have holes in it, because we definitely want to make sure that it floats. So I'm just going to continue on sanding. I have finished kind of like the first round of sanding at the 60 grit. I think it's really starting to turn out really well. We're going to get some other areas here that'll be a lot more smoother. And of course these will all be filled in. Still need to work on some areas in here. I'm not just quite sure what I'm going to do with them. I may have to do some patchwork in there. But everything else is starting to turn out pretty well. You can see through some of these areas where we just need to make sure that the epoxy is all the way through. But I think this is all the sanding that I'm going to do on this until we get to doing the inside here. I think the inside's ready to go. I think we'll epoxy this, but of course we still got to wait for the temperature to warm up a little bit more. And like I said a little earlier, we need to get this taken care of. Not quite sure how I'll end up doing that, but I'll probably just put some like little tabs out here and then cut a piece that'll go in, and it'll probably go straight across, since this kayak was not built the same as the other ones. Same as the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one up, and we will get out the next one and start working on that. This one here is looking a whole lot better than the other one. It's just not going to take as much work, just because we did this one better. We learned from our mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead and just set things up and just start sanding away on this. It's going to be more of the same, but as you can kind of see, we'll probably do a comparison. You're going to see a little bit of change. So we're going to do a 60 grit on this with some new paper, and let's kind of wind this down pretty quick. Well, I finished up sanding as much as I wanted to right now on the the 60 grit paper. We've made a lot of headway. There's areas on this one here that still need to be fixed, sanded, but everything's looking really good. Pretty happy, but lots of dust. We didn't show all of this because I don't know what time it is now. It's 4:14 and I've been doing this probably since 10:30 this morning, somewhere around there. So a lot of just sanding. But this is just the first round. So we've done the inside and outside of both kayaks. Won't do any more, at least that's what I said the last time, won't do any more with the tops of these until we really get the underside fiberglassed. I want to make sure that it's nice and solid, but we'll end up epoxying that maybe in the weeks to come. Not really sure. The weather's been really good. It's good temperature to epoxy today, but that wasn't gonna happen. I'm gonna put all of this up and we're gonna call it a day. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up if you like the content, and hit that notification to be notified of all the episodes. Catch you on the flip side.